we have this here sister in the house with us. Long time overdue. I'm telling you, this woman has been just shocking so many and breaking so many in the sense that she's been able to encourage so many of us as women to take back our power. We talk about emotional baggage. She's a connoisseur for this, most definitely. So, without further ado, now let me introduce you to Gladys Famoriyo. Blessings to you, my dear sister.
Thank you.
Good to see you in person.
Thank you for having me on your lovely show.
Exciting, Lavina. It's not every day. I tell you, we've been blessed from morning to night on this program.
Yes, I'm telling you.
Good
we have so
encouragement.
much pastors in here this morning. 6.
Yes. Yes.
Well, I'm not a pastor, but
Connected to the church.
I am. Yes, but women in general. If you're a woman, we all have baggage in some shape or form, don't we?
Most definitely. Without further ado, who is Gladys?
Okay, well, Gladys, a passionate writer. I like to write books that make you go, that make you think. Also a publisher. I publish my own books, soon to publish other women's books very soon. I'm also a book expert, helping other women write books, because I get so many women saying, you know, pick up the phone, oh, can you tell me, you've got 5 minutes, can you help me write a book?
NC Academy.
NC Academy. So we started the Gladys Famoriyo Academy just to help women package their messages in a way that it will be readable and sellable. Of course, we want to make money out of it, and you know, also putting a bar in terms of excellence. So those are the kind of things I do: writing, speaking, as well as teaching, training, mentoring, coaching women.
Right.
Well, I'm telling you, Gladys, I'll be calling you soon.
No problem. No problem.
I started writing mine.
Fantastic.
For what, over 3 years now, and I'm still there. So.
You're not the only one I hear, and this is one of the things I hear. A lot of women have been carrying, it's almost like a pregnancy that you've been carrying for like 10, 20 years. And my challenge to women is this is the year of the Olympics. Let this be the year you get your book out there too, because everybody needs to hear your message too.
Of course.
So, at the end of the day. Now, what's your inspiration behind your books? Because what we've noticed, okay, quit hitting, start living.
Quit hiding.
Quit hiding, start living.
Sure.
But I mean, what is the thing, the key thing that inspires you for you to be able to really purge and give us this kind of strong, powerful literature, I must say?
Okay, well, I mean, it started by my background. I've been working with women for about 15 years now in some shape or form, coaching, mentoring, training, conferences, and so on. And I started, my ethos has always been to help women move forward. So as I'm going forward, I'm grabbing your hand, and we're going together. But I found that some of us, including myself, were held back by stuff. And when we started to peel the layers of the like an onion off, I realized that some of them are baggage, but we didn't know what it looked like. You know, you say to any woman, oh, baggage, oh, no, I've got none of that. I mean, do I look it? You know, kind of thing. So I started to break down what it looked like to women, explaining to women, well, actually, when you're doing this or thinking this way or acting this way, do you realize that that's what baggage is all about? So really, it's looking at the lives of the women I've been working with, including my own self, because sometimes they sit in front of me and they're like a reflection of myself. And I'm thinking, okay, you know what? The chances are there are other women out there who need to hear this message. So rather than just the one-to-one, let's put it together in a way that they'll be able to understand, but more importantly, identify with the principles of the book. So my ethos is really to help women raise their own self-awareness. So not getting away with, oh, that's how I was made. That's who I am. Well, actually, I don't believe we were created, you know, I believe we were created baggage-free. But life happened along the journey. Something happened that made us, it contorted us somewhat. So we take it, the real us takes a step back, and then this masqueraded woman takes the front seat. And we don't get to see the benefit. I don't see flower, I don't see you. And so when we have all that stuff in the background, how do you go on and run a great business? How do you go on and do the great things, be a great mom, a great this, a great that, with all that behind you? So my thing is let's deal with the foundation stuff first, and then build on it, rather than get to the top and then fall down from glory to shame, like sometimes, unfortunately, we see out there. So that's basically the ethos of why I do what I do.
I want to, at this junction, take you back a little for us to come forward. Because you're sitting here very vibrant, very positive, but I can imagine it wasn't necessarily the case. And how did you get to that place? Because it's with that energy that we're receiving at the moment. And what got you on that path? What I loved also is that you've just said that when you're going forward, you take you and you take you. Now, some of us, we don't know how to do that. We're not ready yet. We don't think about the woman next to us and that one on our left or my right. So how did you get to that place? What led you there?
I think there are a number of things. There's a lot of, I call them influencing factors. And one of the key ones for me personally is my faith. I'm also a Christian, so when I look at the Bible, from childhood, the moment I can read it, I think I read it cover to cover at the age of 10, and I thought, I want this kind of life, you know. So, but I then realized as I was growing up, there was a difference, an incongruency between what it said and life in general. So my goal was to try and marry the two, you know, try and bring as much together. But so those are my driving force, my faith in particular. And I think over the years I've had phenomenal support through my mother. She's one of my greatest champions out there. You know, thank God for great mothers, praying mothers.
Bless them.
You know, so having the support and people around you to say, actually, you know, just even the simple word said, you know, vibrant lady, that lifts me up. Yes. I say the same thing to you, to say, you know, write that book. It does something. So I then discovered, actually, rather than us being bitchy and pulling each other down, how am I finding something positive in each other? So I noticed there was also a time when that wasn't around. You know, you say something and people are looking you up and down like, who do you think you are, kind of thing. But I then realized that it's because of their own story. Yeah. They have a story that's made them that way. But you know what? If I extend the hand of love to them, perhaps they might be able to. It's like paying it forward. So somebody touches your life, and the goal is you go out and do the same thing to others. But so in terms of the background, it really is my faith, my upbringing, and I've been blessed with having so many great people around me to encourage me. But that's not to say life doesn't happen. It does happen, but the internal foundation stuff, I'd like to believe that I've had the privilege of building. You know, there's a saying that says in the Bible, weeping may endure for the night, but in the morning, hey, sunshine. So, you know, no matter what, and that's what my third book was about, Healing a Discouraged Heart. How do you pick yourself up after life happens? Grief, separation, disappointment, failure, all those things. They're real things, and we have to deal with them. How do you do that? So for me, it's almost like giving little tonics through the book to say, you know what, here's something I've seen work, and so on and so forth, and just help women move on that direction. On your journey, have you ever bumped into, or your seminars, have you ever bumped into any ladies that the challenge is so hard to manage? Yes. You know what, I come from a perspective whereby no matter how bad it gets, you can only get so low. So, I mean, when you hit rock bottom, there's only one way, up. And I think, but I don't want to be insensitive, because I do realize that people are going through some hard times. But, you know, with the support and just being there for people, giving them, one of the things I try and do, especially for the conference, is change their perspective. Yes, it's black, we know it's black, but can we start to see shades of grey? Can we start eventually till we start to see white? So I'm always trying to help women see things from a different perspective. So no matter how bad, with the support, because I think that's one of the key things I'm finding women struggle with, having a listening ear to say, can I be honest with you? Can I open up and tell you I'm feeling depressed today? I'm feeling suicidal. Yeah, you may see me as this great thing, but actually I'm having a really bad day. Can I trust you, my sister, to do that? But when we start to open those networks and allow us to be open and honest to each other, I think that's where part of the healing journey starts. Most definitely. I'd like to encourage our viewers at this point, one, the fact that we have this wonderful woman in house with us today, why not call in if there's a question, if there's a bit of encouragement you want, if you just want to say, hey, Gladys, keep doing the good work you're doing. We want to hear from you later on. Now, let's take us back now to the academy. Yes. How did this come about? Okay. You know, it started up this year. Give us a bit of forehand information. Okay, well, as I said, over the years, you'd get these ad hoc phone calls. I want to write a book, help. I said, okay, you know, I've got 5 minutes. What are your key challenges? And so those phone calls kept coming and coming. And when things like that happen, I take note and think, okay, you know, is there a need for this? And I started to just think about, okay, God, how can I do this? And it just occurred to me, well, actually, something, and this is another challenge we sometimes have, if you have a strength, we're blinded to it. Yes. Some people are clueless, you know, they say, I have a book, but I don't know how to write it. So that's where it really started, and it's really an academy to give women mentorship, support, training in particular, as well as offering a consultancy to say, okay, you know, I've got the book in one package, will it do well on Amazon with a cover like this? Right. You know, giving them expertise, you know, support to say, actually, with a cover like that, no. The way you've laid out the book, maybe not. You know, and so it's just different things. But more importantly, this is the key thing for me, is to help women not just package that book, but be able to publish it themselves. You don't have to wait for a publisher. At the last 2, I did myself. So it's trying to transfer that knowledge to the next generation. In fact, no, our generation, and possibly the next generation of women, so they have the tools. With the skills, the know-how, you can do anything, and the support.
I think one of the main things that has really struck me about this whole academy is that we know now that many of us were looking for 3-4 other top jobs.
Yes.
With the crisis that we're going through as individuals, our creativity, that's why today we spent the time by having a theatre company come on.
Yes.
These women to share and to say, well, this is something I wanted to do when I was a child. Didn't have the opportunity, but hey, today I'm doing it.
Absolutely.
And many of us are writers, not necessarily stories, it could be poetry, it could be whatever.
Yeah.
And this has given them an opportunity that we can have another form of income.
Absolutely.
And we need that, especially with the times that we're going through.
Absolutely.
So I'm really kind of excited about it, and I wanted you to talk a little bit more about it because I can see that it's a way forward.
Yeah. I mean, I've always been, I think, donkeys ago, I think probably early 2000, I've always sort of shared with the women, it's about becoming financially independent. Don't wait on this or that or whatever. And if you're relying on your job, it's just J-O-B, just over broke. So you have enough to pay your bills, but you have to go back there next month. You know, but I also recognize that we all have something, like you said, on the inside of us. It may not even be writing, hair plaiting. Some people braid their own hair. How do you do that? You know, could you possibly help either train other people to do it or do it for yourself? So I really do encourage women because, as you said, there is a credit crunch, but even going further, I'm quite a bit about purposeful living. Many of us are in jobs where we just hate. You have the Monday morning blues every day. So for me, this is the kind of academies. It's almost like a subtle way of pushing women to say, do the first book, do the second book, perhaps. Who knows? The big people who are earning millions of pounds in advances, they started from somewhere. If you don't put pen to paper, nobody will know you exist. So for me, it's one of the many tools I use to try and get women not just to use their innate gifts and talents, to use it to make money, but more importantly, to affect the lives of other people. I say to women, if the musicians stop writing and playing music, if you stop plaiting hair, if you stop designing clothes, if farmers stop doing their stuff, what would our world be like? Now put yourself in that equation, that thing you are sitting on, you're doing somebody a disservice. It could be me.
True.
So I need my hair plaited. You know, it's really about thinking purpose. It's about thinking income generation, and it's also about thinking about how can I make a difference even in my own little world.
Like the sound.
You know, there are sometimes women are looking at, all right, and I'm going to leave my job and go into trying to do my own business.
Sure.
Where am I going to get the finance from? You know, that's one thing that some ladies are looking at as well, you know. Well,
I always say, and pardon me for those who are cat lovers, but there's 101 ways to skin a cat. Okay, that's why I work. And the key thing is about support, and that's why I started my coaching practice many years ago, because women came with exactly those comments. Now, for some women, it might be a case of you need to get early retirement and use the money wisely. For some people, it might just be the case of actually let's put a 5-year plan together. You might need to go back to school. You might need support in terms of getting your hobby out there, eventually turning it into an income. So do the hobby in the evening, spare time. Stop the social media. Stop the excessive TV watching. Get the business plan written out. Do it in your private time. And eventually, this is what happened to me. Eventually, writing, I used to write for Prime Magazine, I don't know, 2000, 2002, but eventually one overtook the other, and you know, once you take that step out of the boat, doors open, and you'll never know you can walk on water until you take that step of faith.
It's having that courage.
It's the courage and the support, because I hear a lot of women saying my partner's not supported, my family's like, why you want to quit that job, you know, how you going to pay your bills? Well, you know what, Hollywood is full of people who quit their jobs.
Of course.
You know, there are designers out there who quit the normal just to do what they wanted to do. So, but with wisdom, I'm not saying your job in unless you know it's the right thing to do.
Be responsible.
Be responsible, but there is a way. Don't just... The last thing I'd hate for women is you're sitting in your rocking chair at age of 99 thinking...
And what's going on behind it?
Okay, well, it started off from the Overcoming Emotional Baggage book itself.
Right.
Many years ago, I wrote a book because I said, you know,
that's when I first realised that you came on my scene in my radar.
And we've just had so many people say, well, can you come to our church and talk about it? Can you come to our women's group and so on and so forth? But I also recognise that sometimes there isn't that support for women to be able to just sit down and maybe share their story. Like you said, that, you know, many of us sometimes go to churches, work, we sit there and we're carrying this stuff. And there wasn't really a forum to help women try and decipher some of these emotional entanglements, I'm going to call them. And so I had this, I believe God gave me this vision to just put something out there where women can just come, sit, learn new strategies, learn new insights, and just pick up some tips, even if it's just one thing, to help them on that journey. And that's what we've been doing for the 3 years now. We've dealt with things like discouragement, disappointment, unforgiveness, a big one. You know, we've dealt with, you know, emotional baggage, and this year really is about emotional liberation. I'm going to be talking about specifically around the themes of quit hiding, start living, how to set yourself free from past hurt. So whether it be father didn't love me, ex-partner who still left you years ago but is still playing a huge part in your life, up here and here. You know, we're dealing with betrayals, things that have hurt us. People have hurt us on that journey, and what many of us do is we put a no entry sign on our heart, and then we keep people at arm's length. I love you, but you're not gonna get this close because you know of what's happened. And well, the challenge is when you do that, you lock yourself behind a barrier. You can't reach out to others, and they can't reach you. And I don't believe that's the best way of living. So what I try to do through the book is help women by building strategies and ideas. Well, okay, that's happened, but wisdom says, can we learn any lessons? So things about your heart. Do you just, like a front door, you don't leave your front door open every day long, do you? So you know what? Have a chain, a security chain. Put gates in place, boundaries, learn to say no. Simple things, but that's what I'm going to be doing. And then my co-partner in crime, I call her Sharon Platt-McDonald, another phenomenal lady.
We need to see Sharon at some point. Sharon, you need to come on board.
She needs to come. But you know, she's going to be talking about the renewing our mind. She's just written another book, so about dealing with liberation. So she's talking it from this point on, moving forward. Some of the things that hold us back from moving forward. So I'm going to be dealing with the past. She's going to be doing the moving us forward. So
there's a fourth book. Tell us about it.
That's the fourth book. Quit hiding. Start with how women can free themselves from past hurts.
Right. So what was the whole thing behind this now? Quit hiding.
As I said, it's following on from the emotional baggage. We're starting a journey. So emotional baggage is about helping you identify some of the baggage you might have. Some of us think we don't have it, but you have it in some shape or form. If you read the book, I created these characters, the female hybrid. So there's the masquerader, the hider, the attention seeker, and we all kind of do these things without almost second to nature. So that kind of whetted people's appetite. So we moved on to the discouragement. How do you pick yourself up, especially when the recession started? People who had a job for life now didn't have a job. How do you get over that? So then we're now moving into this point where, okay, you know what, we still haven't dealt with some of the past issues. I've put so many stories in there of women in various stages of their lives doing great things, but there's one thing, this hurt is still just, it's like a wound, their heart's still bleeding. It's there, and as I said, you know, we put a no entry sign on our hearts, and I just keep you away, and I keep you away, and I'm carrying this mindset. We have this mindset that everybody out there is going to hurt us. Well, actually, no. Even personally, I've discovered, well, actually, there's some phenomenal people out there who will love you for you. Change your network. You know, so there's a lot of strategies in that book just to help women position yourself. If people treat you like trash, you're not trash. Okay, if they don't see the blinging diamond inside of you, hey, change.
There's somebody who's going to see it.
Yeah, there is somebody who's going to see it. So it's about, I'm trying to move women away from this blame and all this negative stuff, and it's moving us to, actually, that happened. I'm going to learn something from it and move on. So if people are abusing you, whether it be your time, money, whatever it is, okay, you know what? Maybe there are things I've done. It's not blame, but you can't change people. I can only change myself.
Sure.
So what are some of the things that you can do? And it's really detailed in the book. Loads of exercises, because Coach Gladys comes out every so often. Exercises in the book to help women move on from those things, and then just monitor their progress from that. I like
the sound of that, definitely.
During this conference that you're having, you're saying you have a subject on women who attention seekers.
No, that was that was the first year. But women can find more about it in the book, Overcoming Emotional Baggage. Just Google it, you will find.
There's I know this girl. I would love for her to come. But it's true. She's damaging herself.
Yeah. Wow.
Because she's. You know, I would really love. She's a lovely girl.
Well, that leads us into a wonderful segue how we can register for it. Maybe you need to encourage her and just take one of the posts and pop it in the letterbox and hint to her.
It's free. It's free.
She knows she's doing it.
Yeah,
but she just can't help herself. You understand me? And it's damaging her.
Yeah,
because she has been in and out of so much relationship because of this thing.
Yeah. Well, maybe bring her along. Treat her to lunch afterwards or before or something like that, because sometimes people, it's only when they're there they then realize the benefit, but when they're on the outside, so by all means, but she can register on overcomingemotionalbaggage.com. It's that simple. Overcomingemotionalbaggage.com, and it's taking place on the 17th of November between 3 and 8, so you can still go and do your hair in the morning, your shopping, all that kind of stuff, and then just come and join other women who, and it's not necessarily women who just have baggage, other women who want to take the message back to their workplaces and their women's organizations and their groups. I'm encouraging leaders as well to come along, learn some things, buy resources, because there's going to be loads of resources, books, toolkits and things you can actually use as well. So it's just a place where women just gather together. We have a common bond. We're women, and we have at some point in our journey had some form of issues, and it's about learning how to overcome.
And what I find, it's not an age thing. A woman could be 60, some in 70, some in 34, some in 21. So really what I'm hearing is that it's a forum where we can really come together, and you can also invest. And I want to encourage our sisters to start investing in self. We do the children, we do the hubby, we do the boyfriend, we do whatever. Let's start doing this. As I'm saying it to you, I'm saying it to Flower. Don't worry.
Can I take that even another level? When we talk about self, it doesn't have to just be the self. Because I have, I've met a lot of women, $9.99, it's too much for a book, but we'll spend £300 a pair of shoes. I mean, the designer label. So sometimes when it comes to our own personal development and our healing, we kind of we don't want to invest in that. And I've learned so much by investing in other people's books. It's through that's what I believe contributed to where I am today. So I think there's another level to that investment. It's not just the hair and looking great. It's like looking great on the outside, but on the inside, this
is it, and this is it, and this is where we need to really reach out, and that's why I'm really pleased about today's program, because so far today I think we've been able to get into that zone. Right. I need to say to our viewers, I've been able to collude this lady and hinted enough, and she probably is going to be officially part of the BBS team. We're going to be getting more of this, hopefully from Gladys in the coming months, being a part of us here. So
I'll be delighted to. It'll be an honor.
Everyone's hearing this for the first time, but I thought I just need to throw it out. So if you like what you've heard so far. So Gladys, why don't you invite our viewers, and then we'll let you go.
Okay. Well, to the conference, if there are any women out there who feel that they're working with women who need some support around their emotional well-being or emotional restoration, or if it's for yourself, or you have a friend or a lady, or you just want to learn and be part of a network of other women, I encourage you to come along to the Overcoming Emotional Baggage Women's Conference. The title or the theme is Quit Hiding, Start Living. It's about emotional liberation. We want to see you fulfill your potential. So join us November 17th. 3 to 8 p.m. You can register. It's free. It's recession friendly. It's free. Okay, just register at www.overcomingemotionalbaggage.com.